Colorado High School Activities Association basketball is on B106 and B106.com. Tonight from Fort Morgan High School, the Weld Central Rebels and the Fort Morgan Mustangs will play a doubleheader, with the boys playing at 7 p.m. and the girls playing first at 5:30. Good evening, everyone. Along with Eric Nickel, this is Brian Nickel. On January 24th, Lady Mustangs won a thriller at Weld Central, 47-46 over the Rebels. In league standings, the Lady Rebels are a game behind the Lady Mustangs in the Colorado 7 league standings. Lady Mustangs are 6-1. The Rebels are 5-2. So starting lineup tonight for Weld Central. Mason Reese, a 5'5 sophomore. Emily Smilak, a 5'7 junior. Alicia Gherkin, a 5'6 sophomore. Faith Rupp, a 5'8 senior. And Ivani Robertson, a 6' junior. So getting ready here for the opening tip, and that is brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance with 2 locations in Brush and Fort Morgan. Ingmeyer Phillips can help you with your home, car, health, or life insurance questions or needs. So tip goes to the Lady Rebels to start off the game. Off into the corner now to Gherkin. Out top to Smilak. Back over to Gherkin out on the right wing. Now she drives baseline, and she goes up, and the shot is missed, but rebounded to the Weld Central Rebels. Faith Rupp gets the rebound. Now Gherkin with it on the right wing, out to Faith Rupp. Now a shot up and no good by the Rebels, but the rebound is up and good by Gherkin. So Weld Central to take the early lead, 2-0, with 7 minutes to go in the first period. Now Fort Morgan, nice little give and go underneath, and that's good for Allie Schneider. So Schneider with the first 2 points for Fort Morgan. Now the Weld Central Rebels past half court over to Smilak in the left wing, and that ball is taken away underneath. And that is going to be Pettyjohn over to Alexis Bills. Alexis Bills drives to the lane, now gives it to Schneider for a long 2, and that is no good. Rebounded to Ivani Robertson for the Rebels. They get the ball up court. Shot up and good by Smilak. So now Fort Morgan with the ball. Allie Schneider get the ball across half court, and she will take it to the left of the lane. Pass over to Alexis Bills. Her shot is up and no good from the left wing. Rebounded to the Rebels. Now pass underneath to Faith Rupp, and her shot is up and good. So a 6-2 game here in favor of the Rebels. A lot of inside so far. They've been just little putbacks underneath. So Fort Morgan's going to have to tighten that up. Now a shot from the right wing by Lauren Staley, and that is no good, but rebounded to Alexis Bills. Alexis Bills throws it away underneath the basket. Now the Rebels with the ball coming down court. Left wing. Now pass across court to Gherkin. Gherkin shot up and no good, but the rebound is going to go to Rupp. So now Fort Morgan to take a early 30-second timeout. Rebels up 8-2 with 5:26 to go in the first period. This Fort Morgan timeout is brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Let the State Farm Insurance office of Greg Mullen and Brush help you find the best policy to fit your life. Home, auto, life, health. State Farm Insurance is here for you and your family. Give Greg Mullen a call today at 842-4555. In the 4A standings for this Colorado 7 League, Fort Morgan is second at 6-1. Elizabeth leads at 7-0, I believe. Weld Central is one game behind at 5-2, and then Fort Lupton at 4-3, Skyview 2-5, Vista Peak 1-6, and Englewood at 0-7. So Fort Morgan now with the ball. Danielle Gross to bring the ball across half court. She gets it down to Lauren Staley in the right corner. Lauren Staley drives to the center of the lane and then passes it out, but it's taken away with Rebels down court. Now on the right wing is Gherkin. Her shot is up and goes in. So 10-2 in favor of the Rebels. So Samantha Pettyjohn drives, and she is going to be fouled down on the baseline. And that's going to go against Alicia Gherkin. So that'll be her first, team first. So ball into Lauren Staley on the right wing, underneath to Allie Schneider. Schneider's shot up and good. Now Fort Morgan with the full court press. Rebels get the ball across half court. And now Rupp out high over to Reese. And now into the corner to Gherkin. Gherkin's shot is up and no good. Rebounded by Rupp. She gets her own shot, her own rebound. But that time Allie Schneider gets the rebound. Nice strong rebound there by Allie. Allie now to Alexis Bills. Alexis Bills shot off the left side of the rim. But that is rebounded by Danielle Gross. Gross gets the putback. So that makes it 10-6 in favor of the Rebels. Rebels now down court. Mason Reese with the ball out high. She drives down to the lane and she tries to get it underneath. Shot is going to be up by Ivani Robertson, but she is going to be fouled on the shot. And that foul looks like that's going to go against Pettyjohn. That's going to be her first. So to the line is Ivani Robertson to shoot two. Her first shot is in and out, so no good on the first free throw. So now into the game is 21, Hannah Gilmore for the Rebels. Second shot coming up for Robertson. Her next shot is up and good. So that makes it 11-6 in favor of the Rebels. Fort Morgan with the ball across half court. Danielle Gross underneath to Allie Schneider. Allie Schneider's little layup is good. So Allie Schneider was 6 points here in the first period. 11-8 in favor of the Rebels. And now Gherkin along the right baseline, but she is going to be called for the foul, or for the turnover, excuse me. They called her for traveling. So with 3:30 to go in the first period, the Weld Central Rebels lead this game. Now Fort Morgan with the ball on the right wing with Allie Schneider. Schneider picks up her dribble. She needs to get it off to somebody. Now the ball is taken away by Weld Central, but they're going to call a grab on Alexis Bills after the ball was taken away. She tried to grab it back. I think they've got the score wrong on the scoreboard. They show it 13-6, but I believe it's only 11. So now a little shot up and good by Ivani Robertson for a two. Now they've got it back. Now they need to put it back up to where it was, would be correct then, at 13-8. So now Lauren Staley with a little shot up and no good. Weld Central being trapped down at the far end, and the ball turned over to Fort Morgan. Then Fort Morgan throws it back away. Now a breakaway layup for Gherkin. Gherkin's shot is up and good. So 6 points in the first period for Gherkin already. 15-8 in favor of the Rebels. 2:35 to go in the first period. Danielle Gross pass over to Lauren Staley on the left wing. Now to Alexis Bills. Little jumper from the left wing, and it is off the rim and no good, but knocked out of bounds by the Rebels. So now Celia Smith's into the game for Allie Schneider. Fort Morgan to get the ball in. A little jumper by Alexis Bills is no good, off the side of the rim. Now the Rebels bring the ball down court, but they're going to call a foul on Danielle Gross. That will be her first on a blocking foul. So 15-8 in favor of the Rebels. 3 team fouls on Fort Morgan, 2 on the Rebels. Little shot is up and good by Ronnie Lewis. So 17-8 in favor of the Rebels. Now Danielle Gross passes off to Samantha Pettyjohn out high on the right wing. Now to Alexis Bills in the right corner. Alexis Bills, she has a turnaround jumper off the side of the rim and no good. Rebounded to the, looks like you're going to call it jump ball, so that should go to Fort Morgan. So Fort Morgan will retain possession at their end of the court. Now Patricia Gomez into the game for Weld Central. 17-8 in favor of the Rebels with 1:52 to go in the first period. Now the ball is taken away by the Rebels by Ashley Overman. She dribbles it all the way down the court and puts it in for 2. So 19-8. Fort Morgan finding themselves behind early. Now a nice little runner was up and good by Samantha Pettyjohn. Now full court press by Fort Morgan again. Rebels get the ball, just now do get it to half court. Patricia Gomez out at the left wing. Now she brings it to center court. She backs it out now over to Gilmore. Gilmore on the left wing. She's guarded by Pettyjohn. Now her pass over to Gomez at the top of the key. Now she's being guarded by Lauren Staley. Staley staying right with her. Gomez with the ball still out on the left wing. Now the ball is going to be taken away. A pass underneath, and that was taken away by Alexis Bills. Alexis Bills to Danielle Gross. Gross's pass over to the right wing to Samantha Pettyjohn. Pettyjohn gets the pass back out to Alexis Bills. Alexis Bills now with a little jumper, 7-footer, and that's off the far side of the rim and no good. 25 seconds to go in the first period. Fort Morgan down 19-10. Patricia Gomez with the ball, guarded by Danielle Gross. Now over to Gilmore. Gilmore on the right wing. She gets it back to Ronnie Lewis, or to Ivani Robertson, excuse me. Now to Gomez. Now back out to Lewis. Lewis in the key. Going to call it kick with 5.4 seconds to go in the first period. Fort Morgan down 19-10. So Samantha Scott, Allie Schneider into the game. Alexis Bills and Danielle Gross to take a seat. A little breather here before the second period starts. Rebels to get the ball in. That's going to be a 5-second call. Nice defense there by Fort Morgan. So they will get the shot at the last shot here at the end of the first quarter. Rolling the ball up the court, now picks it up. Long shot now is off the side of the rim by Allie Schneider, and no good. So at the end of the first period, the Lady Rebels 19, Fort Morgan Lady Mustangs 10. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs basketball on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Morgan High School, where the Mustangs find themselves down 19-10 at the start of the second period. Mason Reese now with the ball, and her pass underneath to Ivani Robertson. Her shot up and no good. Fort Morgan just can't get the rebound. Nice block by Allie Schneider on a shot up by Emily Smilak. Now Smilak with the ball out on the right wing, out to the top and over across to Gherkin. Gherkin back out to Reese. Reese over to Smilak. Smilak pass into Rupp. She's guarded by Celia Smith. Now shot or a pass underneath, and that's going to be tipped away by Samantha Pettyjohn. So Weld Central inbounds the ball just to the left of their basket. Another tip away by Samantha Pettyjohn on the inbounds. So now Weld Central inbounds the ball just in front of the Mustang bench. Samantha Pettyjohn and Lauren Staley to take a seat. Alexis Bills and Danielle Gross back into the game. So now Reese with the ball. She picks up her dribble. Pass underneath is taken by Alexis Bills. Alexis Bills dribbles across half court. She takes it clear down to the top of the key, now down the left of the lane. She gets it back out to Allie Schneider, but they're going to call Allie Schneider with an offensive push-off. So that'll be Schneider's first. 14 fouls on the Mustangs, only one on the Rebels so far. So now Mason Reese over to Smilak out on the left wing. Now to Rupp at the free throw line. Over to Reese. Reese down the baseline on the left baseline. Her shot up and no good. Rebounded to Alexis Bills. So Alexis Bills bringing the ball up past half court. She is being guarded by Smilak. They're going to call a foul on Weld Central, and that's going to go against Ivani Robertson. So that's going to be Robertson's first, and that will send Schneider to the line to shoot two. The first one is up and good. Bounces about 5 feet high in the air and comes right straight back down through the basket. So now she is set up for shot number two. 19-11. That shot in and out, no good by Allie. So now Weld Central with the ball down court. Cross court to Gherkin. Gherkin trying to the baseline. She works her way in and shot up and no good. Rebounded to Danielle Gross. Gross to Allie Schneider. Now Schneider crossed half court. She slows it up a little bit. Now pass underneath to Smith. Smith just to the right of the lane. It is going to be off of Weld Central. So Fort Morgan to retain possession. Ashley Overman into the game for the Rebels, and Faith Rupp to exit the game. Danielle Gross just to the left of her basket gets the ball into Celia Smith in the left corner. Now into Allie Schneider. Allie Schneider's little layup is no good. Rebounded to Alexis Bill. She goes up for the shot, but she is fouled. So that foul was going to go on number 5, and that is Mason Reese. So that's Reese's first. First shot is up and good for Bills. So that's her first points on the night. Fort Morgan down 19-12. Celia Smith and Samantha Scott to take a seat. So now second shot is up and no good by Bills. So Fort Morgan only shooting 50% here, only 2 of 4. Almost taken away by the Mustangs. Ball underneath, and it finally is taken away. It's going to be taken back. Now Fort Morgan does get it. Samantha Pettyjohn down court. Nice little pass off. Oh, ball comes out on Danielle Gross. Little layup, and she misses it. Now they're going to call a foul on Allie Schneider. That'll be her second. They called her for a foul on the rebound, I guess is where that was. It's now ball down court to Ashley Overman. Overman on the left wing. Now back out to Reese. Reese to the top. Now it's going to be over into the right corner to Smilak. Smilak out high to Gherkin. Now Gherkin over to Overman. Overman to Reese. Reese to Smilak. Now Reese, little runner, and up and no good. Rebounded to Bills. Now down court pass. That's going to be handled by Lauren Staley. Lauren Staley into the lane. Her shot up and no good, but they're going to give her 2 shots. So she will go back to the line. So the foul is going to be on Smilak. So Lauren Staley to the line. 4-2, and the first one is up and good. So that is actually her first points of the night, her first trip in. Smith's into the game for Allie Schneider. Now we have a timeout called by the Rebels. Just a 30-second timeout. Valley View Villa, look to the team at Valley View for rehab, short-term or long-term care needs. Stop by 815 Fremont or call them today, 867-8261. B&B Appliance at 502 Ensign in Fort Morgan can help you save water, energy, and the environment without sacrificing quality and performance. Change for the better with B&B Appliance. So into the game now for Fort Morgan is Celia Smits, Lauren Staley, Alexis Bills, Samantha Pettyjohn, and Danielle Gross. Fort Morgan only finds themselves down by 6 points with 5 minutes to go in the second period. So still within reach here, and Lauren Staley to go to the line for shot number 2. First one was up and good, and that one is also good. Nice shot there. Nothing but net. So now the Rebels across half court. Reese to the center of the lane, and now she kicks it out to Gherkin. Gherkin down the lane, and her shot is up and no good. And last touch by Ivani Robertson. So Fort Morgan to get the ball. Alexis Bills inbounds to Samantha Pettyjohn. Fort Morgan down 19-14 with 4:42 to go in the second period. Ball is going to be tipped away by Gherkin and out of bounds. So Fort Morgan inbounds the ball just in front of the Rebels bench. Celia Smith to look to get the ball in. She needs to get it in. Does get it into Lauren Staley. Lauren Staley's pass over to the left is up and no good. Her shot up and no good. Now Ivani Robertson with the rebound to Reese. Reese holds it out. Now she gives it off to Overman. Overman at the free throw line. Her shot is up and good. So Overman with 4 points on the night, 21-14 in favor of the Rebels. With 4:05 to go in the second period. Now Smith's out at the left wing. Her bounce pass down to the left corner by Alexis Bills. Now it's over to Lauren Staley. Lauren Staley's shot is no good. Lauren Staley gets the rebound from Danielle Gross. But they have called a foul on the Rebels. And that is going to go against Robertson. So that will be 2 on Robertson. So to the line will be Staley to shoot 2. Her first shot is up and good. So now Allie Schneider back into the game for Celia Smits. 21-15. Favor of the Rebels. Danielle Gross to come out. Samantha Scott to go in. So Lauren Staley with shot number 2. Her next shot is up and good. So Lauren Staley with 4 points tonight, all from the free throw line. 21-16 in favor of the Rebels with 3:50 to go in the second period. So Reese now around on the right side. Her bounce pass to Overman on the right wing. Overman now passes out to Smilek on the left wing. Smilek into the lane. But her pass underneath to Robertson is too high, too far, and will go over to Fort Morgan. Now Samantha Pettyjohn with the ball. Gets it across half court. Keeps the dribble alive. Now to Lauren Staley on the left wing. Over to Alexis Bills. Alexis Bills' little jumper is up and good from just inside the free throw line. So now 21-18 in favor of the Rebels. Fort Morgan closing in. Overman with the ball. She goes into the lane. Her shot is going to be blocked by Samantha Pettyjohn and taken away by Allie Schneider. Now down court to Lauren Staley. It's going to be tipped away by Overman. So Fort Morgan to retain possession. They'll inbounds. Baseline to the right of the basket. Now Gilmore in for Overman for the Rebels. Now the ball into Samantha Scott. Samantha Scott's pass underneath and into Allie Schneider. And Schneider's little hook shot is up and good. So Fort Morgan only down by 1. Now the Rebels throw the ball away. Half court, they tried to get it into Robertson down to the baseline, and they throw it over her head. So now Fort Morgan didn't have possession, but the Rebels will call another 30-second timeout with 2:48 to go in the first period, leading 21-20. Platte Valley Hearing Center. You don't have to travel out of town to receive the best and most advanced hearing health care. Visit Platte Valley Hearing Center, located at 409 East Platte Avenue in Fort Morgan. Ackley Building Center, your one-stop center for projects around your home, office, or yard, and they now carry appliances. Ackley Building Center, located at 1402 Mill Street in Brush. Buildings by Design. Buildings by Design in Brush takes pride in their workmanship and quality of their relationships with clients. For a free bid, call Pat Walter at 842-5837. Building today's business, Buildings by Design. So now Fort Morgan inbounds the ball to Samantha Pettyjohn. So Fort Morgan can take the lead here on this possession. Samantha Pettyjohn over to Alexis Mills on the left wing. Now into Lauren Staley. Lauren Staley's pass underneath to Allie Schneider, and Schneider's shot is up and no good. Now with the Rebels with a shot down court, and that is no good, but they're going to give the rebound, said last touch by Fort Morgan. So the Rebels to inbounds just to the left of their basket. They do get it in to Ronnie Lewis. Lewis is shot up and no good. Nice strong rebound by Schneider with 2:18 to go. Fort Morgan finds themselves down 21-20. They're going to call a carry on Allie Schneider. So 2:15 to go in the second period, 21-20, the Rebels. So now Reese with the ball, guarded by Samantha Scott. Now over to Smilak, and Smilak drives to the basket, and she's going to go to the line to shoot two. And that foul is going to go on Lauren Staley. So that's Staley's first. So now Smilak to go to the line to shoot two. 16 fouls on Fort Morgan, 5 on the Rebels. First shot is up and no good by Smilak. Now Danielle Gross back in for Samantha Scott. 2:05 to go in the first half. Next shot is up and good by Smilak. So 22-20. Ball down court to Gross. Gross keeps the dribble alive. She takes it over, starts to the right side now. Her pass over to Pettyjohn. Now over to Staley. Staley's little shot is up and good, and that ties the game with 1:48. So Staley ties it up at 22. Now the Rebels with the ball. Smilak dribbles to the center of the lane. They said it was kicked. So possession still to the Rebels with 1:34. Fort Morgan has come back from 8 down and tied this up at 22. Now ball over to the right corner, back out to Gomez. Gomez guarded by Gross. Gross over, pass over to Smilak. Smilak now out to Gilmore. Gilmore drives to the free throw lane. Her little shot is up and no good. Rebounded to Gomez, but they're going to call a jump ball. So that will be to Fort Morgan. So Fort Morgan can take the lead here before the end of the first half with 1:17 to go. Tied at 22. So Samantha Pettyjohn to bring the ball up court. She gets it across half court, surveying the situation here now. She gets it off to Staley on the right wing. Now her pass cross court, and that's going to be up. They must have called a walk. I don't know. I did not see a signal. All they said was the shot was no good and it's going the other way. They're taking Allie out. They don't show that it was a foul. So I'm not sure what happened there. I'm not sure the refs do either, but that's beside the point. So Gomez with the ball out high. Now over to Rupp. Rupp to Gomez. Gomez at the left of the free throw lane, and then underneath to Smilak. Smilak's shot is up and good. So Fort Morgan now finds themselves down 24-22 with 35 seconds to go in the first half. Ball into Schmitz. Schmitz came in for Snyder, and she loses the ball, taken away by the Rebels. So Smilak now out to Gomez. Gomez backs it out. They look like they're going to take the last shot. Now Smilak on the left wing. She passes it out to Lewis. Lewis over to Gomez with 10 seconds to go in the half. Now a pass to Rupp. Rupp underneath. That shot is up and no good by Gherkin. 1 second to go, and that shot is up and no good by the Rebels. So at the end of the first half, it is the Weld Central Lady Rebels 24, the Fort Morgan Lady Mustangs 22. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs basketball on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Morgan High School, where the Lady Rebels lead the Lady Mustangs 24-22. A fairly well played game, only 8 turnovers by Fort Morgan, 9 by Weld Central. So this looks like it could come down like it did in the second game that these teams played. The first game that they played was in that tournament in early December, where Weld Central beat the Lady Mustangs by 18 to 20 points. I don't remember just what the score was. And then Fort Morgan on the 24th beat the Rebels 47 to 46. The Rebels took a shot at the end that made it 47 to 46, and apparently didn't have any timeouts left, and Fort Morgan just ran the clock out, inbalanced it, and ended that game. So that put Fort Morgan in the driver's seat in the as far as the league is concerned. Fort Morgan girls left on their schedule for this year. They will be at Elizabeth on Friday. That will be at 5:30. Then they will be away at Fort Lupton on the 12th. Home to Vista Peak on the 19th. And then away to Skyview on the 21st. The 21st will be the last of the last league game. And then we'll see where they finish. They should finish enough for a spot in the playoffs. We'll just have to see where they're seated and where they may end up going, or if they can get a home game to start out the playoffs with. So now the Rebels will have first possession in the second half. Lauren Staley, Danielle Gross, Allie Schneider, Alexis Bills, and Samantha Pettyjohn will start for the Mustangs. So Rebels do get the ball inbounds. And that is going to be called a travel on Alicia Gherkin. So now Fort Morgan inbounds the ball. Now the Rebels to have a full court press. Ball into Samantha Pettyjohn. She has a little breakaway here. We'll see if she gets the layup, and that is going to be no good. Rebounded to Smilak. And now to Reese up the right sideline. Now she takes it out to center court. She gets it over to the left to Gherkin. Now Gherkin keeps her dribble alive over to Smilak. Smilak passes back to Reese. Reese backs it out. She passes over to the right wing to Smilak. Smilak into Robertson. Robertson at the free throw line. Now her pass out to Reese. Reese's pass into Rupp. Now a little shot by Emily Smilak is good. So Weld Central with the first points of the second half, 26-22 in favor of the Rebels. Now Danielle Gross, her pass over to the right wing to Staley, and then her pass underneath to Schneider. Schneider's little jumper is up and good. So Fort Morgan answers right away. On the scoreboard, 26-24 with 6:42 to go in the third period. Now Rupp, they're going to call a foul. They're going to call a foul on Alexis Bills away from the ball for a hand check. So that will be her second. So the Rebels inbounds to the right of their basket. Reese gets it into the corner, and that's going to be tipped away by Lauren Staley. So the Rebels will retain possession. Now they will inbounds from the corner. Danielle Gross to guard Mason Reese real close. Now into Robertson. Now Reese with the ball out high. She passes over to Smilak on the right wing. She picks up her dribble. Now it's going to be not quite stolen by Allie Schneider. Shot is going to be up and no good by Robertson. But Alexis Bills with the rebound. And she looked down court for a minute, but she didn't throw the ball to Allie Schneider. Now Schneider's little jumper from the right is no good. Rebounded to Robertson. Now Reese with the ball. Reese over to Gherkin on the left wing, and she dribbles to the center. She's at about the free throw line. Now back out to Reese, left wing. Now they're going to call a jump ball. Samantha Pettyjohn ties up Alicia Gherkin, and that will be a ball to Fort Morgan. So Fort Morgan inbounds the ball. The Rebels with a full court press. Allie Schneider with a long pass, and Lauren Staley does get the ball. She drives it down the lane. She is going to go to the line. They're going to call a blocking foul on Smilak. So that will be her second. So Lauren Staley to go to the line to shoot 2, where she is perfect on the night, 4 for 4. Her next shot is up and good. So she is perfect, 5 of 5 from the free throw line, 26-25. She can tie this game up here. Nice shot. That one also good, so that ties the game at 26. Rebels get the ball past half court with Reese dribbling out high. She passes off to Gherkin on the left wing. Now over to Smilak in the lane. She's at the free throw line. Back over to Gherkin, left wing. And now into Gilmore. Gilmore at the free throw line. Over to Smilak, and now underneath. And her shot by Gherkin was blocked by Allie Schneider. Now Allie Schneider gets the ball down court. But her pass is going to be stolen and taken away, and Robertson has a layup, but that's going to be Danielle Gross with a foul. So Gross with foul number 2, and Robertson will go to the line to shoot 2. Stubbs Gas and Oil. Stubbs Gas and Oil is located at I-76 and Highway 39 in Wiggins. Don't delay and get there today to see why convenience is Stubbs' middle name. First shot is up and no good off the rim. So now the Rebels with a change. Gilmore out, Jessica Beach in. So now shot number 2 coming up here for Robertson. So Robertson's next shot is up and also no good. So the score stays at 26 with 5 minutes to go. Now ball down court. Danielle Gross's shot up and no good. Rebounded to Allie Schneider. Schneider's shot is up and partially blocked. Now to Mason Reese. Reese's pass is going to be knocked away by Alexis Bills. So the Rebels will retain possession. They will throw it in from the far sideline. Now Robertson out and Lewis in for the Rebels. Beach inbounds to Reese. Reese out high. Now she takes it down the left of the lane. Pulls up her dribble, guarded by Danielle Gross. Now pass over to the right wing to Smilak. Smilak shot up and blocked, but that's blocked by Allie Schneider. Next shot is up and rebounded and up and good. And I couldn't tell. I believe it was going to go to Overman. So that's her first points of the second half, 28-26. Now they're going to call an offensive foul on Allie Schneider. So that's going to be Schneider's third. So now she will probably take a seat, and Celia Smits will come into the game. So Fort Morgan finds themselves down 28-26 with 4:15 to go in the third period. So Fort Morgan showing kind of a press, but then backed off. So now Reese with it across the timeline. Her pass over to Overman. Bobbles it a little bit. Now she is being hounded by Pettyjohn. Picks up her dribble. Now Reese with the ball being guarded by Danielle Gross. Pass over to the right wing to Beach. Beach's pass underneath and shot up by Smilak is no good. But the ball is out of bounds. They're going to call a foul on Reese. That will be her second. So 3 team fouls on Fort Morgan, 2 on the Rebels. Fort Morgan gets the ball across half court to Lauren Staley out at the right wing. Now she tries to get it, she gets it back out to Pettyjohn. Pettyjohn to Gross. Gross's little shot is up and no good from the left wing, but she is going to be fouled. That looks like that's also going to go on Reese, so that will be her third. So Danielle Gross to go to the line to shoot 2. Central Auto Parts, for the best prices and special offers on top quality car parts and accessories. Visit Central Auto Parts at 1001 West of Platte Avenue in Fort Morgan. First shot up and good for Danielle. So her first points of the second half. She now has 3 for the game, 28-27. Next shot is up and partially down and out, so that is no good. Rebounded to the Rebels. Rebels leading 28-27 with 3:25 to go in the third period. Pass over to Beach. Beach is guarded by Smits. Now a pass underneath is going to be taken away by Pettyjohn. Pettyjohn to bring the ball up court. Now pass over to Danielle Gross out high at right high wing. Now into Alexis Bills. Back to Lauren Staley on the left. Now a little jumper hook is up and good by Alexis Bills. So that's going to put Fort Morgan in the lead. First lead of the night for the Mustangs, 29-28 with 2:50 to go in the third period. Now Gomez, she passes over to Overman. Pass underneath to Robertson, but that's too far for Robertson. So that'll be out of bounds. Turnover to Fort Morgan. So now Beach to leave and Alicia Gherkin to come back into the game for the Rebels. So the Rebels have backed off of their full court press. Now Pettyjohn to bring the ball up court. Fort Morgan to get set up in their half court offense. Tipped away initially by Overman. Now a little shot by Lauren Staley is up and no good. Rebounded to Robertson for the Rebels. Gomez now with the ball. Her pass up court to Overman. Overman's going to get the ball underneath to Ronnie Lewis. Lewis's shot is up and no good. The ball is going to be saved to Celia Smits. Her pass is going to be taken away by Gherkin. Gherkin's shot is going to be up and no good, but they're going to call a foul. Looked like a nice clean block, but they're going to call a foul. That's going to go against Bills. That's going to be her third. So now Gherkin to go to the line to shoot 2. So Gherkin's first shot is up and no good. So now Samantha Scott into the game and Allie Schneider back into the game. Samantha Pettyjohn and Alexis Bills to exit the game right at the moment. Now second shot is up and also no good. Lauren Staley with the rebound. Fort Morgan still leading 29-28 with 2 minutes to go in the third period. Now Allie Schneider with a dribble down the lane. Her little runner is up and no good. And now Gherkin down the right sideline. She passes out to Gomez. Now they're going to call a timeout. The Rebels will call a full timeout here, so we'll take one with them. With 1:47 to go in the third period, Fort Morgan 29, Weld Central 28. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs basketball on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Morgan High School with Eric Nickel, I'm Brian Nickel, where the Fort Morgan Mustangs lead 29-28 with 1:39 to go in the third period. Now two block shots by Allie Schneider. Fort Morgan, they're going to have a jump ball now on the rebound. That will stay with the Rebels. So I know Allie's got to kind of watch herself, but they were clean blocks. They didn't call a foul on her. So now ball into the Rebels, but it's taken away by Fort Morgan. Samantha Scott now up the right sideline, guarded by Gherkin. Now Samantha Scott out at the top of the key. She picks up her dribble over to Lauren Staley. Lauren Staley drives to the lane, and her shot is up and no good. But they are going to call a foul on number 5. That's going to be 4 on Reese. So now Lauren Staley to the line to shoot 2, where she is perfect on the night. First shot is up and rolls in and good. So she is 7 of 7. Gross and Smiths come out. Alexis Bills and Pettyjohn to come back in for the Mustangs. Second shot is no good by Staley. Her first miss of the night from the line. So 30-28 in favor of Fort Morgan with 1:05 to go in the third period. Gomez now with the ball. Gomez over to Smilak. Smilak to Robertson at the free throw line. Now back to Gomez on the left side of the free throw line. Now to Rupp. Now we have two Fort Morgan girls down, but they're saying it was last touched by the Rebels. So Fort Morgan with the ball will inbound it just in front of the Rebels bench. 49.3 seconds to go in the third period. Fort Morgan up 30-28. Samantha Pettyjohn brings the ball across half court. Allie Schneider underneath. Didn't get the pass to her. Lauren Staley now out on the right wing. She picks up her dribble. Guarded by Robertson. She needs to get rid of her. They're going to call a 5-second count, and they did. So that's going to be a turnover by Fort Morgan to the Rebels with 32.5 seconds to go. So Gomez with the ball in the back court. Gets it across half court, guarded by Pettyjohn. The pass now over to Smilak on the right wing. She dribbles to the free throw line. Pass underneath to Robertson. It looked like her shot was a good block, but they're going to call Allie Schneider for her fourth foul of the game. So Allie will probably be coming out here with 20 seconds to go in the third period. No move yet by Coach Krackemeyer. So Robertson, her first shot up and good. Now Smith's in for Allie Schneider. 20 seconds to go, 30-29. Lady Mustangs in the lead. So Robertson's second shot is up and good, so that ties it up. So Fort Morgan with the ball up court. Samantha Pettyjohn down the right wing. There's going to be a foul called on Robertson. That's going to be her third. Let's see if that's going to be the 15th team foul on the Rebels. So Fort Morgan will not shoot yet with 14.1 seconds to go in the third period. Samantha Pettyjohn to get the ball in. She does to Alexis Bills. Bills' shot up from the left 7-footer is good. So 7 points on the night for Alexis Bills. Now Gherkin up with a shot, and she is fouled with 3.2 seconds to go. And that foul is going to go against Alexis Bills, and that's going to be 4 on her. First shot is up and no good by Gherkin, so she is 0 for 3 from the free throw line tonight. So now Danielle Gross in for Alexis Bills. 32-30 in favor of Fort Morgan with 3.2 seconds to go in the third period. Second shot is up and also, let's see if it bounces in, and it does go in for Gherkin. So Fort Morgan with 1 second to go. Long shot, no, just short by Samantha Pettyjohn. So Fort Morgan leading 32-31 at the end of the third period. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs basketball on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Morgan High School to start the fourth period. Fort Morgan leading 32-31. But Alexis Bills and Allie Schneider both in foul trouble with 4. Reese with 4 fouls on for the Rebels. And now Alexis Bills does come back into the game. Samantha Pettyjohn to Lauren Staley on the right wing. Now a nice little cut, but pass not handled by Danielle Gross. Now ball up the right sideline by Gherkin. Gherkin picks up her dribble. Now to Robertson. Over to Smilak on the left wing. Now over to Gherkin. And that shot up and no good, but last touched by Fort Morgan. So the Rebels 2 inbounds the ball just to the right of their basket. Emily Smilak tries to get it in. She does get it in to Rupp. Now over to Gherkin on the right wing. Now back to Smilak, out to Gomez. She backs it out. Now over to Gherkin on the left elbow. And now over to Smilak. Smilak over to Gomez. Gomez tries a three, and that is in and out. Rebounded by Robertson. Robertson's shot is up and bounces around and no good. Rebounded to the Rebels. And they try to go up with a shot, and they are going to be fouled. That is, they called that foul on Danielle Gross. I don't know. I believe that's what they call that on Danielle, I believe. First shot, no good. So that was on Danielle Gross. That's 3 on for her. So now Smilak with her second shot. That is up and good. So now Fort Morgan with the ball. All tied up at 32. Samantha Pettyjohn's little runner is up and good down the lane. So Pettyjohn with her first points of the second half. Fort Morgan leading 34-32 with 6:40 to go in the game. Little shot up and good by Gherkin. So that ties it up at 34. Now Danielle Gross brings it up past half court across the timeline. Her pass over to Celia Smits. Smits out on the left wing. Pass underneath, but that's going to be taken away by Smilak. Smilak over to Gomez. Gomez down to Gherkin. Gherkin, little 7-footer is up and off the rim and no good. Rebounded to Robertson. Her second shot up and no good. They're going to call a foul underneath. They're going to call that on Danielle Gross. That's going to be 4 on her. So Robertson to the line to shoot 2. Her first shot is up and rims out and no good. So now Samantha Scott and Allie Schneider into the game. Danielle Gross and Alexis Bills come out with 6:15 to go in the game. Robertson's second shot is up, and that one is good. So now Fort Morgan finds themselves down by 1 with 6:15 to go, and the clock is not running. Now they finally ran it, and they called a full timeout by Fort Morgan. So we're going to take a timeout too. Fort Morgan behind 35-34 with 6:10 to go in the fourth period. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs basketball on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Morgan High School, where the Lady Mustangs find themselves down a point to the Lady Rebels, 35-34 with 6:10 to go in the game. Celia Smith, Samantha Scott, Lauren Staley, Allie Schneider, and Samantha Pettyjohn in for the Mustangs. So Fort Morgan 2 inbounds the ball across the way in their end of the court. So now they get it into Allie Schneider. Schneider's little shot is up and rims out, but she gets the rebound. They're going to call a foul on Smilak. So that will be Smilak's third. That should be 6 team fouls, I believe, on the Rebels, 8 on Fort Morgan. So Samantha Pettyjohn to get the ball in bounds. She gets it into Lauren Staley in the right corner. Lauren Staley dribbles it. She dribbles it off of her leg and out of bounds. So now the ball over to the Rebels. Rebels leading 35-34 with 5:58 to go in the game. Now Overman guarded by Samantha Scott. Samantha Scott cuts her off. Now it's going to be a pass over to Gherkin. Gherkin tries to get down court. Now let's see who they call the foul on. That foul is going to go on, I thought they said of Celia Smith. So that is her first. So that will put Gherkin to the line for a 1. Did they say was she going up for the 2? We'll see if it was a 2-shot foul. See what they're doing. will be a 1-1 for Gherkin. So Gherkin's first shot is up and no good. Rebounded to Lauren Staley. Lauren Staley with the ball. Gets it across half court. Fort Morgan down 35-34. Now over to Samantha Scott on the right wing. Samantha Scott down the right sideline. She's going to lose the ball. Now they're going to call a foul on a reach-in on Scott after the ball was taken away. So that would be Scott's first. Now back down to the other end of the court for a 1-1. And that's going to send Gherkin back to the line. So Gherkin to shoot a 1-1. Her first shot is up. Apparently that was the 10th team foul. Her first shot is up and good. So 30 should be 36-34 in favor of the Rebels. Her next shot is also good. So Fort Morgan finds themselves down by 3 with 5:25 to go in the game. Pettyjohn dribbles down and she throws the ball away to Smilak. Smilak now over to Reese. Reese down the right sideline. She pulls it back out to Gherkin, then Gherkin to Smilak, back to Reese. Now Reese pulls it back out. Center court. Now she passes over to Gherkin on the left wing. She pulls it back out, keeps the dribble alive. Now she passes over to Reese, back out to Gherkin. Gherkin down to Reese on the right sideline. Now pass underneath to the Rebels, back out into the corner. Now to Gherkin. Now we have another timeout taken by the Rebels. So we'll take one also. The Rebels up 37-34 with 4:41 to go in the game. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs basketball on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Morgan High School, where the Lady Mustangs find themselves down 37-34 to the Lady Rebels with 4:41 to go in the game. So we have Alexis Bills back into the game along with Allie Schneider, Samantha Pettyjohn, Lauren Staley, and Samantha Scott. So we'll see how long Danielle Gross sits on the bench before Coach Kreckemeyer decides to bring her back. So now the Rebels inbounds the ball on the far sideline, and they're just going to hold the ball and make Fort Morgan come out and get them. Reese with the ball out high now. She dribbles over to the right wing. She passes off to Gherkin. Gherkin guarded by Pettyjohn. Now Gherkin back out. She goes back down the right sideline. She's going to hand off to Reese. Now Samantha Pettyjohn now taken over by back to Smilak. So now they're just kind of doing a weave out here around the three-point line. Fort Morgan guarding real close. Samantha Scott right on Gherkin. Now handed off to Reese. They're going to make Fort Morgan try to foul to get this ball back. Smilak now passes over to the far court and shot up and no good by Gherkin. But Allie Schneider couldn't control the ball, so it'll be back to the Rebels. Inbounds the ball just to the left of their basket, leading 37-34. They do get the ball in. Now they're going to call a foul. Looks like that may be on. That's going to be on Samantha Scott, so that will be her second. So now Overman will go to the line to shoot two. Fort Morgan over the limit. They have 11 team fouls. Overman, her next shot, her first one is no good. So the Rebels only shooting 50% from the free throw line so far in the second half. Next shot is up and good for Overman. So 38-34, Fort Morgan down 4. They need to get a couple of baskets here, get this thing tied up. Now Alexis Bills from the left side of the lane, and it is up and good. So now Reese with the ball just crossed half court. She's going to be double teamed. Now pass over to Smilak. Smilak over to Gherkin. Gherkin on the left wing. Passes over to Overman. Overman's shot is up and no good. They're going to call a jump ball just to the left of the Rebel basket, and that will stay with the Rebels. So now the Rebels get the ball in on the left baseline, and that is going to be up and good by Overman. So 40-36 in favor of the Rebels with 3:04 to go in the second half. Now Pettyjohn, they're going to call a jump ball on Overman. Pettyjohn a little upset that they're not calling any reach-in fouls here, and I don't blame her. Now Fort Morgan to inbounds. We have a timeout called. There's another full timeout. So we'll take a timeout with them. Fort Morgan down 40-36 with 2:57 to go in the game. You're listening to Mustangs basketball on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Morgan High School, where the Lady Mustangs find themselves down 40-36 to the Lady Rebels with 2:57 to go in the game. Fort Morgan will inbounds the ball just in front of their bench. Coach Krackemeyer giving some final instructions here and what he wants to see done here to get some points back up on the board. So Allie Schneider to get the ball in, and she gets it in to Samantha Pettyjohn. Pettyjohn on the right elbow, she backs it back out. And she's going to be guarded. It's going to be tipped away by Overman, so Fort Morgan will retain possession on the far sideline. Allie Schneider too inbounds the ball with Smilak in her face. Now into the left corner to Staley. Staley's a left-handed runner, up and no good. Rebounded to Gross, but Gross's pass is going to be tipped away and knocked out of bounds by the Rebels. So the Rebels still leading 40-36 with 2:41 to go in the game. Lauren Staley now to inbounds just in front of the Mustang bench into Alexis Bills. Pass underneath, but that's going to be knocked out by Overman. So Fort Morgan with the ball just to the left of their basket. So Pettyjohn too inbounds the ball. She gets it into the corner to Staley. Staley out to Gross. Gross's shot or pass underneath to Schneider, and her little hook is up and no good. Rebounded to the Rebels. Now they get it down court to Gherkin. Gherkin dribbles across court. Now they're going to call a foul on Lauren Staley. So Staley will be her second, and that will send Smilak to the line to shoot two, where she is one of two so far in the second half. So her first shot is up and no good off the back of the rim. So the Rebels leaving the door open here for the Mustangs. Second shot up, and that one rims out. Last touched by Alexis Bills, they say. So that will give the ball to the Rebels with 2:20 to go in the game, 40-36 in favor of the Rebels. Now they get the ball to the left of the rim. They're going to call a foul. That's going to go against Pettyjohn. That's going to be her second. So Overman will go to the line to shoot two. Fort Morgan over the limit. Bijou T-Quest, letter jackets, t-shirts, and more. Stop by 302 Main Street in Fort Morgan for all your sports apparel. First shot is no good. So the door's still wide open here for the Mustangs. Equitable Savings and Loan, Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan in Fort Morgan and Brush. Second shot is up and good for Overman. So now Rebels up by 5, 41-36. Ball taken away underneath. Now Reese with the ball. She gets it over to Overman. Overman gets it across half court. She's guarded by Pettyjohn. Now back out to Reese with 2 minutes to go in the game. 41-36 Rebels. So now Smilak out high at the left high wing. She's being guarded by Pettyjohn. Now guarded by Snyder. Now over to Reese. Reese is guarded again by Pettyjohn. Now they're going to hand off to Gherkin. Minute 30 to go in the fourth period. Fort Morgan trying to get the ball, and they're going to call a foul. We're going to see what they're up to here. Somebody threw something out on the court on the left side. That's totally uncalled for. Athletic Director Wildenhouse is going to go over and have a talk with whoever. Looks like they might know who threw that out. So he's going to go over and sit on the student bench over there and keep an eye on the crowd. So the first shot is up and good by Smilak. So there's no need to anybody be throwing anything out on the court. That's completely uncalled for. So Smilak with her second shot, and that one is good. So Fort Morgan down by 7, 43-36. Danielle Gross with the ball. She gets it to Alexis Bills in the corner. Now to Allie Schneider. Schneider's shot is up and good. So now Fort Morgan with a full court press. Gherkin now gets it up court to Overman. Overman now holds it out high. Out high on the left wing. She gets it to Reese out center court. Now Reese hands off to Smilak. They're going to call a jump. Danielle Gross goes down on the ground. I think she's okay. Ball will go back to the Rebels with 1 minute to go in the game. Fort Morgan down 43-38. So the Rebels do get the ball in. Reese has it out high, being guarded by Gross. Now Gross has the ball. Another jump ball called on the far side, but now Fort Morgan will get the ball this time. So a chance to cut into this lead, 43-38 in favor of the Rebels. So Pettyjohn with the ball. Pettyjohn down the right side of the lane, and her little jumper is up and no good. Rebounded to the Rebels, down court to Gherkin. Her layup is up and good. With 35 seconds to go in the game, Fort Morgan down 45-38. Danielle Gross across half court. She gets it over to Lauren Staley. They've got to get some shots up here. Now underneath to Snyder, and her shot is up and good. So Fort Morgan to take a timeout here with 24.4 seconds to go in the fourth period. We're going to take a timeout with them. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs basketball on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Morgan High School, where the Lady Rebels lead the Lady Mustangs 45-40 with 24.4 seconds to go in the game. Fort Morgan did just score, so the ball will belong to the Rebels, who will inbounds just to the right of the Mustang basket. Fort Morgan to put on a full court press. They do get it in. Ball down to Gherkin with 20 seconds to go. They're going to have to foul if they're going to try to get back into this thing. Now Overman underneath, and her layup is going to be up and good. Then they also called a foul. And that foul is going to go against Celia Smits. That is going to be her second. So not what they wanted to do is foul on the shot. So now Smits, Kinsey Winsheimer had been in for a minute and then came out, and Samantha Scott out. Now Allie Schneider, Alexis Bills, Lauren Staley, Danielle Gross, shot up and no good. Knocked out of bounds by the Rebels. So ball to Fort Morgan, down 7 with 13.4 seconds to go. 13.7, excuse me. Now ball into Allie Schneider, 13 seconds. Schneider, they need to get a shot up here, and they're going to call a foul on the shot. And that's going to go against Smilak. That's going to be her fourth. So Lauren Staley to go to the line. Staley's the one Fort Morgan would need at the line. She is 7 of 8 tonight. So her first shot is short off the front of the rim. So shot number 2 coming up here. That is rolls in and good. So down 6 with 8.7 seconds to go. Rebound the ball to the Rebels with 3 seconds. Now the ball taken by Pettyjohn, but the Mustangs are going to come up short tonight. So at the end of the game, 47-41, the Lady Rebels over the Lady Mustangs. We're going to take a short break here and then be back with the post-game show. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs basketball on B106 and B106.com. 9% from the free throw line. As far as the rebounds and turnovers go, the turnovers were even at 16 apiece, so not a lot of turnovers in the game. A fairly clean game for the Mustangs on the rebounds. They had 20. The Rebels had 32. Ivani Robertson looks like she had 19 rebounds in the game. So she was a big force underneath. So this is parents' night for the girls. Not sure it's going to be for the boys also. I know they have some more home games, but right now they have parents' night going on right now. So they're giving roses. The girls are giving roses to their parents. So it's a nice gesture having parents' night for the parents. It's a nice crowd here tonight. Big crowd for the Mustang girls, and then the boys will be coming up here shortly. And it looks like they must be having. I don't know if they're also doing parents' night, also giving their parents. I'm not sure what the boys are giving out, but parents' night here when the Weld Central Rebels are in town. So we're going to take another break and be back with more Fort Morgan Mustang basketball on B106 and B106.com.